Number 10. The Flash. We all know ghosts are rumored to move in ways inconceivable to the naked eye, but we never knew they were able to break the speed of sound. That was until this scary video was posted on TikTok. No idea who the original poster is, but we can derive some information just from the video alone. The figure is almost comical. Some comments even mention it probably forgot something from the shops and was speed walking back to grab it. The shadow looks like a person waddling, but it looks artificially sped up, almost as if someone edited the video. However, what makes this piece of paranormal evidence so unsettling is the fact that, if you look at the time in the top corner, it is moving at its regular pace and the person is recording with their phone directly from the CCTV software, reducing the chances of some cheeky edits. But for the skeptics among us, how do you explain those weird, unnaturally jerky movements? Do we put it down to clever editing and video overlay, or does the late night shopping trip extend to the world of the supernatural? Let us know in the comments. Found a creepy video you'd like us to feature? Send us the link on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram at GoosePimplesYT. Also, if you enjoy scary videos like this, subscribe and click the bell icon to get a notification every time we upload a new one. Number 8. Final Orders. CCTV cameras have provided us with all sorts of paranormal punches in the face. And this clip is no exception. While checking over the office cameras at his restaurant job, this guy caught something that made him do about 15 double takes.
And I got my backpack wet. So I wanted to find out who did it, so I came in to check the cameras. And we're gonna go 30-second intervals. So every click's 30 seconds. Watch this area here. Craziest shit ever. What the hell? Now we're just gonna play it. Nobody's in the office. It's a notepad of paper. It just moves right out. Wait for it. What the hell? Now watch the book still.
Looks like the ghostly back-of-house team is a bit stressed.
You can't beat that, can you?
The unbalanced weight theory doesn't work here, because there was nothing there that could have been teetering on any kind of edge. The things that fell were all flat. So what happened? Well, if you look closely at the darker, rectangular item that first got pulled off the shelf, it bears a striking resemblance to a phone. And anyone will know that no surface can keep a vibrating phone from creeping itself to the edge and falling over. So it could have fallen because the phone was vibrating and it just took everything with it. Or is this truly a haunted restaurant? What do you think? Number 7. Surprise, surprise. If you need any more reasons why you shouldn't mess around with Ouija boards, this next clip might just be the nightmare fuel you need. While these two people were trying to make contact with the other side, they were met with a nasty surprise lurking just behind them.
¿Cuántas hay aquí?
Espérate. Dice saludos de la familia Hernández y de Dolores de Guanajuato. No es necesario hacer eso, dicen. 3. No, ya no. Tú dime, ¿a poco no sientes nada?
Sí, pero ¿no quieres más?
Sí, pues sí, pero tú estás jugando, yo no estoy agarrando eso.
No más poquitas.
Ok.
¿Y qué otra cosa quieres que me pregunte?
¿Tú sientes? Se siente algo aquí ya, ¿eh?
¿Estás aquí con nosotros?
¡Liz! ¡Muévete de aquí! ¡Muévete! ¡Muévete! ¡Me caíste!
What the hell was that? We only get a tiny glimpse of the hellspawn, so it's hard to dictate whether it's something genuinely demonic or just a creepy mask stuck to the wall. But the noise that echoed through the room before he turned around is enough to make anyone's blood run cold. It does seem a bit sus that he knew exactly where to investigate first, almost as if the video was staged. But then again, you never know.
Acércate a mí. Muéstrate. Hay algo caminando. ¿Dónde está? Ahí hay algo. Si hay algo ahí, ahí está parado. Mira, se está desenfocando y está parado. ¿Lo ve? ¿Me quieres dar una señal o qué?
Sometimes you just get an instinct. One thing's for certain though, we won't be holding any Ouija board nights anytime soon. That thing might see it as an open invite. Number 6. Horsing around. Animals can be extremely temperamental and sensitive at the best of times.
A laughing horse.
Especially when there's ancient Brazilian folklore character jumping around behind them. Take a look at these horses losing their minds and we'll explain a bit further. As difficult as it is to ignore the star of the show, let's pay the pony with the tire on his head no mind and focus our attention on the back of the enclosure. If you missed it, don't worry, it's quite hard to spot. So let's slow it down and zoom in. Did you see it? A solitary black figure hops past and vanishes into the shadows before the horses lose it and jump the fence. This could be the shadow of anything really, because we don't have any surrounding shots aside from the enclosure head on. But there is a spirit in Brazilian folklore that seems to fit the bill here. Saki is described as a black, one-legged being who hops around, wears a red cap and revels in causing mischief. Some of the things he is more infamous for is the dulling of sewing needles, the souring of otherwise fresh milk, and more relevantly, the disturbance of animal life within communities. Many people in the comments of this TikTok truly believe this being to be that of Saki, claiming that they have seen him multiple times throughout their child and adulthood. We can't spot a red cap anywhere, which is possibly Saki's most noticeable feature, but we can see that it's a hopping black figure disturbing animal life. Do you know much about Brazilian folklore? If so, can you tell us anything about this clip? Do you think it's proof the Saki exists? Or is there a more reasonable explanation for this? Number 5. That's handy. When you're ill, you're at a much higher risk of hallucinations. At least that's what this person thought when they were home sick alone and saw something terrifying crawling up the stairs. But when they whipped their camera out, they realized that those worst nightmares had come true.
Hola, gente. Otra vez el ruido ese. Poco estoy haciendo compañía hoy, pero ya estoy sola. Todavía se escucha un ruido de abajo. Y la verdad que no sé. Ay, la concha, por olor a algo ahí. Sora. Sora, subí. Nera.
Looks like the grudge wasn't as fictional as we once thought. It's pretty handy, no pun intended, that the second they got downstairs, the thing was gone. While it could definitely be some trickery of the ghostly variety, there's also a chance it was their mate hiding under the staircase who ran into the dark doorway at the back of the room. A commenter pointed out that the dog might have been in there because they saw the person running and thought they were playing. What do you think happened here? Real life horror movie? Or a scary home video? Number 4. Household happenings. When you spend a lot of time on your own, your mind can play a few tricks on you. You see things out of the corners of your eyes, sense presences that aren't there, and you manage to always find fear in the mundane, which is exactly what started happening to this guy. He began seeing some really weird stuff in his house. And whether or not this was ghosts throwing items and showing their faces in fireplaces, or him dropping his remote while he's half asleep and having a bad case of pareidolia, it still set him on edge, to the point that his friends started treating the house as a personal ghost tour. And oh boy, did he get the scare of his life. This obviously wasn't the work of any spirit, because in the video description, the guy explains that his friend had nodded off while he went to get ready. But what he didn't realise before he cozied up for a nap was that there was an alarm right above him. It was such a paranormal punch in the face that he could be a Mariah Carey tribute act. Although we can't drag him too hard, because right before this happened, he had been shown this video.
Read it again. Close it. Wow. Read. Can you stop doing that, please? Stop doing that.
That's probably what set him so on edge. However, this might also be free of ghostly interference because those sensor-based bins are a nightmare for anyone who owns one. One smudge on the sensor and it'll be opening and closing like no tomorrow for seemingly no reason. And there are quite logical explanations for all of these videos, but that doesn't change the fact that this guy and his poor mate genuinely believe the building is haunted. So we'll leave this one up to you. Real footage, or a bit of a misunderstanding? Number 3. Ghost train. We've all at least seen a fairground ghost train at least once in our lives. They range from blood-curdling to hilarious. But one thing they all have in common is they're quite fun, except this one.
Oh boy. What, Well, that ain't good. Don't know who's running that, but I mean, yeah, okay.
You're probably thinking the scary part about this is that it's moving on its own. But propane engines exist, and the vehicle was probably just set to run a while before... Oh no, the locomotive itself isn't the petrifying thing, it's what's on it. Take a close look at the back of the caboose right at the end of the video when he pans the camera back around. Either this video was taken in Florida, and crouching naked on all fours in the back of the train is a standard Florida man activity, or skinwalkers have managed to figure out public transport. Number 2. Discipline. Being told off by your parents as a kid is bad enough, so what do you do when the family ghost gets to dig in as well?
Get a tissue.
wasn't picking my nose.
Don't yell like that.
I was putting my hand by my nose, but I
Look at
wasn't
me.
picking.
First of all, don't raise your voice like that. Inappropriate. And see, now the ghost is very upset. Don't do that.
That and there's no ghost in here.
Well, I don't know.
That's the calmest reaction to paranormal antics we have ever seen.
Inappropriate. And see, now the ghost is very upset.
In all seriousness, we don't actually know what happened. The object that fell was teetering on the edge of the playhouse beforehand, so it could have just been unbalanced. Surprisingly, that didn't seem to bother the kid that much, which means one of two things. Either they have a very frantic poltergeist in the house and he's used to this kind of stuff, or nothing actually happened. The real question is whether or not he was really picking his nose. Number 1. Deer meat. Animals are known for being quite sneaky and slinky when trying to get away from predators or danger in general. Deers especially are some of the more graceful escape artists, but as effective as they are, they shouldn't just disappear into thin air, should they? There are a few questions we have about this one. One of the main ones being why this person was knowingly chasing a deer down the road. But aside from that, how did it just vanish? To be fair, to the untrained eye, we can see how this would read as an animal just evaporating. But look carefully at the area it jumps into. It's dark and encompassed by shadows. The camera quality isn't the best, so there's a high chance the deer did just jump over the barrier and the camera was unable to pick it up. Or that deer jumped into an invisible portal and it exists somewhere else in the metaverse. Which is it? Let us know what you think down below. Here's a playlist full of creepy stuff caught on camera for you to enjoy. Don't forget to bump the like button, subscribe and click the bell icon to avoid missing our weekly SPOOKFests. Thanks for watching. Stay in the dark.